to episode 2 of the Innerwave journey. And in this episode, we'll be going over the delays that took away from the ability to move ahead with my brand. Now, when I say delays, I don't necessarily mean them in a bad way, because everything happens for a reason. And it was through delays that helped me come up with more creative ideas to help me better my business. Now, throughout January to May, where we currently stand, there were many delays and drawbacks, but I'll go over the 5 main ones that I learned the most from, and also give the advantages and disadvantages of each delay. Started with one, helping pay for things. Now, there's nothing wrong with helping someone here or there, even if you haven't, but it's the message behind helping people. Because once you give someone money once, especially a considerable amount, they tend to get lazy and lose that drive to work hard, and instead use you as a sort of bailout tool, knowing that you're the option for money. However, all people aren't like this, and some really just could use a few dollars to get back on their feet. But all in all, it's not a crime to help out. Just make sure you have a set amount that goes towards helping people, and make sure not to exceed that budget, especially if building something you feel that will put you in a better position. Always put your needs first. Here is a story of how helping out did lead to such a positive ending. This takes place in late January to early February. So my parents were having car troubles and were looking for a rental car. And where I was positioned during that time, I had a considerable amount in my checkings and savings account. And I decided that I could help, especially since most of their money was going towards paying for the house. However, I ended up giving away around $600, and $200 of it was rent that me and my brother paid to my mom to help out with the bills. And I told my dad at the time, when he asked for the money, that the money he asked for was for rent, but he promised to pay me back on time before rent was due. So long story short, he didn't get paid, and as I told my mom, she said she was unaware and told me to make better decisions. And I ended up having to pay the rent and the late $200 fee, which took away the money that I wanted to spend on my birthday. So the disadvantage of this situation was obviously losing my emergency funds and savings that I was stacking, but also taking away the ability to pay for more designs and properly enjoy my birthday. But on the bright side, the advantages I had is, well, first I realized that my mother was right, that I had to make wise decisions, as I knew I had rent coming up and I should have prioritized rent instead of giving my father the money that I gave. But also, sitting with designs led me to deeply examine them, having them redone as I showed in episode 1. Now, on to delay number 2, and this one took place in March. This one was a bit brief, but still played a role. Anyways, in early March, I had got sick, like back to back.
It can't be as horrible as the suds.
And it was definitely unexpected and unwanted. The disadvantage of the sickness was that it took me away from work and not have the ability to stack up. But on a positive note, it led me to realize that I need to keep my diet in check and to also make use of my time while away from work. Subsequently, delay number 3 happened the same month, and it correlates to the delay previously mentioned. But being sick altered my plans of working 6 days a week for the next 3 weeks.
It's never finished. Master got me working. Someday Master sent me.
And the reason I wanted to work 6 days was to stack money for my girl's B-day and to also have design money. And the disadvantage of this delay was not having the money that I wanted at that time. However, the advantage was being away from work made me realize that working 6 days takes away my ability to actually sit down and spend time on my brand, which still is in effect now as I only work 3 days a week, focus more on building and expanding my personal brand. Onwards to delay number 4, my girlfriend's birthday. Which took place in early April, and due to having rent early in the month as well, all the money that I had previously stacked up to that point was gone. And to be honest, I really wouldn't say there was any disadvantages due to the fact that I was aware of the upcoming situation and I used the situation to my advantage to work on other skills needed for my brand, such as drawing for my mom. And last but definitely not least, delay number 5, the cruise.
man, that is not Mike.
which also took place in April from the 11th through the 16th. Now, first, this was a great experience, and the trip was much needed.
Well, let me get that shit off your record. Well.
And again, with this delay, I really wouldn't say there were any disadvantages, well, besides being sick on the boat. But going on the trip made me realize that it's way more to life than just going to Amazon and collecting a check. And it gave me a huge advantage of wanting to go all in on my business and create a life where trips were a monthly thing and not something that I had to save up for. In conclusion, I want you to take away from this that delays are bound to happen. In the moment, it can seem that the world has it out, but on the other side of a storm is a rainbow. And when a delay presents itself, don't get upset. Instead, ask yourself, what else could I do while my plans have been put on hold? And from now on, look at each negative thing happening in your life as you getting stronger and passing by obstacles you are meant to overcome. Now, thank you for watching this episode, and remember, create your inner wave.